Hey YouTube, this is Krim the Godspeed Edge here, bringing you a deck profile on Scraps. Scrap Twin, there you go. Anyway, this is my version of Scrapcasters. It's like Scrapkeepers. It's an older style, but it works better personally for me this format. A lot of people are doing the Tengue and Beast variant stuff with Horn of the Phantom Beast, blah blah blah. I don't like it. It was way too inconsistent for me. It wasn't good enough, so I came up with this myself, you know, to play. I love this deck so much, and so I took it to tournament, did really well at my local. So let me just show you the deck profile. You have, well, apparently 3 Chimera. I don't know how the Beast got there, but 3 Chimera. If you're not playing 3 Chimera, you're not playing Scraps. You have to play 3 Chimera. The 3 Scrap Beast, your awesome tuner. 3 Goblin. Goblin is not very dead in this deck. He's a great defense. Lets you, you know, he blows himself up. Grab your Chimera, make your plays. Good for Scrap Storm. Lets you do it. It's just he lets you go into Arc Knight with Spy and Summoner Monk. So he's just fun to play at 3. And if I have to, I side him. I side one out. So Orthros, great card to combo. Play Chimera. Then you go Beast, Synchro Scrap Dragon. Special Orthros. Orthros blows himself up. Blown up by a Scrap effect. Yay! Get Chimera back to your hand. Scrap Dragon next turn if you need it. Save something in the wing for later if he gets destroyed. So it works really well. My last one here, Searcher. I love Searcher in this deck. I used to actually play him because I just liked him and I would side him out. This card is great. He works for when you do Scrap Storm and you bring you can discard it and your monster will blow up and he comes to the field. It's a good +1. You make some. He does combos, and I'll show you a little bit later with some of the other synchros. So let's continue with 2 Spy. Yes, Spy. I run Spy. Spy has 2,000 defense points, and you know, flipped gives you +1. So I like that. It's like, oh, Tengu's better. Well, Tengu can't go over Spy. So I like the way it works. It's dark. It's a spellcaster. It lets you go into more synchro options if you can't make Scrap Dragons. So I like the 2 Spy. And 2 Summoner Monk. This card has made the deck so much more live with all the spells that you run in here that are for actually Scrap monsters. He's not dead. You summon him onto the field. You can make bring out Beast, go for Scrap Dragon very easily. And searchable by Sangan, so you run him at 2. He lets you go into a lot more things. The Lonely Sangan. I don't run Effect Veiler in this deck. I wish I had found room for Effect Veiler in this deck. I just can't find cards. I have 43 cards here. And I prefer Sangan because he lets you go for Spy. He lets you go for your Summoner Monk. He's good to have. And he's cute. You see? He's cute. Anyway. And then the 2 Granel. Yes, I play Granel in this deck. If I have to, I side him out. But Granel is just so helpful on, you know, higher life point situations and steals synchros. So if you're going against an opponent and you don't know what they're going to be doing, then, you know, he either turns into a beater or he steals their synchros. And I win a lot of games that way, sadly. And it makes my opponents really mad. And if you need to, you side him out. You know, side for Veiler, side for something else that you really need. But I like 2 for consistency, just playing the deck straight up. Then you got the spells. 3 Scrap Storm. It's the card that you dump with. It's the card that lets you draw. It blows up scraps and makes you get scrap effects and go Chimera. It's just such a good card. If you don't play 3, then it's the same thing as Chimera. Why wouldn't you play 3? In this format, 3 Scrapyard. It's great to discard for Summoner Monk. It lets you get it. You have so many tuners, it's not dead. And, you know, you need a Beast onto the field, and you got Summoner Monk. Hey, you discard this instead of adding it to your hand. It's great. It lets you search Orthros for combos as well. Just a fun card to have. Staples, Reborn, Dark Hole, Book, Heavy, 3 MST. Yay for the dual terminal one. Then we have my 2 choices for the last 2 spells. Mind Control, Foolish Burial. You're playing so many tuners. You don't play Mind Control. Why wouldn't you play Mind Control? This card's so live. You know, if you have a Scrap Dragon, you steal your opponent's monster, blow that up, blow up your opponent's back card. You discard it for Summoner Monk. It's not dead, so you need to have at least one of these. Well, you need to have one of these. It's at one. Anyways, Foolish Burial. I love this card. You can discard it for Summoner Monk's ability. Lets you throw your Searcher or your Beast to the grave. It's also great for you if you have Beast. You can combo with, you know, you put Beast on the field. You don't have a Chimera, you discard Chimera with this card. Go Orthros, blow up Beast. Lets you destroy by a scrap effect, add Chimera to hand. Just good combos with the card itself. On to Traps, Staple Traps. Solemn Judgment, 2 Warning. Yeah, enough said. I know if you have them, you have to play them. Tori, love Tori in this deck. Call is very live in the deck. You can play 2. I don't like 2. If you got Spy on the field and a Beast in the graveyard, you call the Spy. You call the Beast to the field, Synchro Scrap Dragon, and now this card is negated and sits on your field. Oh wait, blow it up with Scrap Dragon. There you go. My staple setup. I like 2 Compulses, 1 Deprison. It's much more consistent for me. I like Compulses more than Deprison, but the 1 Deprison comes in handy all the time. So I like keeping it this way with the 3. And my last ones here are 2 Royal Decree. I love Royal Decree in this deck. Most of the time you're scared of Warnings, Judgment, Bottomless, etc., etc. This completely blocks it. Most of the time your opponent's going to MST it anyway. And a lot of you are going, you're running so many traps, why would you do that? Well, you have a lot of options. Your opponent's going to most likely destroy it, or you make Scrap Dragon easy in this deck. That's what you do. So you can blow it up if you don't like it, but most of the time, once you get this on the field in a Scrap Dragon, you're going to win. Synchro deck. 3 Scrap Dragon. You have to play 3. If you have 2, you can try the deck with 2, but at some point you have to have the 3. It makes it way more consistent, and you make them a lot. Scrap Twin, a lot of combos. I can still make him even though I don't play Golem in the deck. I love this card. My 4th Scrap Dragon, Utopia. If you don't have any more Scrap Dragons and you do Chimera to Beast, it can only make Scraps Synchros. So you make Utopia instead. Hey, if you need something, you need him. I haven't played him yet, but it's good for long-term duels. You got Colossal, Dark End Dragon. He's just great because you have 4 dark monsters in there, and they're all spellcasters. So I mean, you get Beast on. You can make this instead of Scrap Dragon. It's just nice to have. You don't use many other synchros other than the Scrap Dragon and Scrap Twin, etc. So it's just nice to have in reserve. 1 Thought Ruler. It's nice to have in reserve. Don't use it much, but it works. Arknight's great in this deck. You run 4 spellcasters plus the goblins. Makes easy. I mean, this guy is like Scrap Dragon, just not as good. So he's good to have, and I use him a lot. Scrap Archfiend. You know, have to play at least 1 when you're running scraps. Chimera to Goblin. It's just for consistency. Ancient Fairy. You guys know what it does. You know, hater on Unity's Gravekeepers. I got 1 Bryonic, just 1 level 6. I don't make 6 in here much, so why have anything else? And the most fun ones here are Nat Beast and Allied Justice Catastor. And I'm going to show something just real quick. Basically, situation comes up where you have Scrap Dragon. Somehow it gets destroyed. Yay, Scrap Dragon is destroyed. His ability activates, allowing you to get Beast onto the field. If Searcher's in your graveyard, Scrap Monster was destroyed, lets you go Searcher. If your opponent has to end their turn then, well, it goes to your turn. Now you need Scrap Beast in the graveyard because maybe you have Chimera in your hand. Synchro, you can make Nat Beast or Allied Justice Catastor. It's great because it lets you get over stuff that normally you couldn't get over if you can't blow it up with Scrap Dragon. And Nat Beast is just fun to stall your opponent and stun them. They get really annoyed. Last thing here is Armory Arm. I could make Armory Arm. I might as well run it. I don't see a lot of places where I would actually use it, but I mean, if you make it, you should run it. That's it for my profile. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and this is Crim the Godspeed Edge from TeamRokuyukai signing out.